Hi.
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 Hi. I'm Rex Pukinikin.
I'm Rex Pukinikin.
I'm Rex Pukinikin. And we're balling. And we're balling.
And we're balling.
Today. Tomorrow.
And maybe yesterday.
At what cost?
At what cost?
At what cost? Woo!
Welcome back to another episode of Ballin' at What Cost with Rex Pukinikin. Today, we're going to talk...
Classic little Dana White intro. Y'all feel that? All right, listen. So, we're a little cracked out today. I made a fresh cup of joe just for this episode. I felt like I needed that little... it is afternoon in my opinion. Afternoon boost. It's been a great week of sports, in my opinion. And what's the craziest part is we're going to have an upcoming week that is even crazier. That is going to be full of excitement, at least for me. I got the hoodie on, I don't know what it is. I dug this hoodie out. Haven't worn it in a while. I didn't really want to fuck with my hair today. And, I kind of actually really like the headphones over the hoodie. Adds a little bit of swag goo. So, yeah, I'm going to let's just jump into this. NFL. Quarterback. Okay, we're going to. The reason why I got this as the headline for this week in the NFL is we're getting a lot of quarterback performances and a lot of I know usually quarterbacks are being highlighted anyway, right? That's pretty much the number one talk of the NFL, right? If you watch it. But, I at least personally think I don't mention quarterbacks that much. Or I at least hold myself back from every week reporting only on freaking quarterbacks. But this week, it's kind of hard not to because we got some freaking classic performances from some dudes that are just classic, We're going to start it off with something I think I've probably mentioned before. I think I have indeed. Aaron Rodgers still owns the Bears, and he owns them bad. It's been 4 years since Aaron Rodgers has lost to the Bears, the Chicago Bears, and he is over his span of his professional NFL career. His record against the Bears organization is 24-5, which really puts in perspective either how good Aaron Rodgers is, how good the Packers have been, or how dog shit the Chicago Bears have been. Because, like I said, I haven't followed the NFL for that long. It hasn't been like a decade even. I think just about half a decade, right? And all I know is Bears are one of the only teams that have consistently sucked ass. Because when I started watching NFL, for example, even freaking before Joe Burrow, the Bengals were dog shit, right? They were absolute dog shit, and then they're obviously better. They fucking made it to the Super Bowl, right? And then what else? Who else has been shit, but they've turned it around? Dude, it's kind of crazy because I barely. Bills Dolphins? Yeah, dude. I remember when Dolphins were trash, right? And then now they're like semi-lit. And Bills are semi-lit. I'm saying semi because, compared to the Eagles, right? Like, Eagles are lit, yeah, they lit, like lit. But pretty much, dude, Aaron Rodgers kind of just dominates that organization. There's no way the Chicago Bears organization, the management group or the owners, there's no way they like Aaron Rodgers, right? Like, there's no way. Aaron Rodgers has caused a little too much damage over the years. And I remember, just to recap the game a little bit, the Packers started off struggling. Like, they, pretty much have, like, they started off by performing the way they're expected, not too good at all. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Aaron Rodgers complaining to the head coach, like, what the fuck are we doing? And I think they were down by a bit. Yeah. They were down like 16-10. Yeah. They were down, up until the fourth quarter, they were 19-10. They were down 9. The Packers were down 9. They only scored a touchdown and a field goal. So, yeah, like, just not like... And everybody knows, now that we're on the second half of the season, things do turn around. People, teams, players make improvements. Coaches make improvements and whatnot. So, I wanted the Packers to win. I expected the Packers to win, but I honestly was expecting them to, like, come out swinging. But again, they were not. And then as soon as they were not, and then fucking Justin Fields pops the fuck off for like a 50-plus yard rushing touchdown, I was like, yo, this is ultra chalked. But then, see, Aaron Rodgers owns the fucking Bears. It really is just like the best possible time for Aaron Rodgers right now. He was enjoying his post-game interview on the field after beating the Bears. He said, it's like a second home for me. And I believe the man. He's convinced me completely that his second home is Chicago, dude. Because he owns those motherfuckers. Hold up a second. Wi-Fi disconnected real quick. But yeah, I think great performance at the end of the day by the Packers, because then when they figured everything out, then it was like no stopping them. Fourth quarter, 18 points for the Packers. Fourth quarter, 0 points for the Bears. Right? So great that Packers got a win again, and just a little bit sweeter the fact that it's against the Bears, and it's just pretty comedic and fun at this point. Anyways, next up, got two jungle cats, some Lions versus the Jaguars. Lions blow up the Jaguars 40-14. 40-14. I was not expecting this. I thought it was going to be way more competitive. It's just, yeah, because, you know what I think about the Jaguars. I genuinely think they got just this potential that they somehow have to, unleash. And I thought this was going to be more competitive, if anything. Right, but the Lions' defense were pretty lit, and Lions' offense have been lit. Like, I don't think anyone was counting. Sorry about that. I don't think anyone was counting out the Lions' offense, because they They got some real weapons. They have a quarterback that's been to the Super Bowl, right? I feel like Jared Goff, I don't know, not a lot of people, I don't know. I just feel like as soon as he got traded for Matthew Stafford, it's just like, oh my God, Matthew Stafford is the better one. But it's just like, dude, Jared Goff ain't shit either. You know, he's decent for sure. But Trevor Lawrence had nothing to answer to the Lions defense. So 4-0 to 14. And this was such a strong performance from the Lions. And I have to agree, they played pretty damn perfectly. You know, I really think, you know, they got a touchdown every single quarter. They got two in the first quarter, one in the second, one in the third, one in the fourth. So I don't know. And it's just, I feel like the offense just perfectly complements the defensive efforts. So I kind of feel like if the Lions get the ball rolling, if the defense make a play, and then the offense can just, you know, then they're like, you know, fired up, ready to go. Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jamal Williams, Jared Goff, you know, they got weapons. They got weapons that can do a little bit more than something, right? So now the Lions beat the Jaguars so bad that next week when the Lions are going against the Vikings, who are 10-2, they are on the betting odds the favorite to win. The Lions are the favorite to win against the Vikings. The Vikings are underdogs going into next week's matchup against the Lions. And yeah, I think Lions in a sense have a bit more like they have a lot more potential offensively to pop off, you know, because if the Vikings offense pops off, it's just Justin Jefferson is catching shit and no CB can freaking guard him, right? So I unfortunately don't really know about the cornerbacks in the Lions, but I can imagine that has a lot to do with the betting odds. Wait, let me see. Let me do a little research here. I got no rush today. Unfortunately, I'm gonna. Okay. Pass yards allowed. Oh, wait, what? Pass yards allowed? Wait, okay. I think the Vegas odds or the freaking casino odds analysts or whatever, they're a little faded right now. Oh, no, they're not. Okay, so listen. I have this. There's this website called lineups.com. They have like NFL team rankings. I have the defense up right now, and it's the rankings instead of the stats. And Detroit Lions are number 26th when it comes to pass yards allowed, which, if you look at it, that's like really bad. That's like, oh my goodness, how in the hell like are they going to be able to defend against someone like Justin Jefferson? But then I look down and Minnesota Vikings 32nd, which means the last place for defense pass yards allowed. So basically, if Jared Goff can sling it to Amon-Ra St. Brown better than Kirk Cousins can sling it out to Justin Jefferson, Detroit Lions win. But that's just the thing. Then it's just like, okay, obviously the matchup, a lot more factors come into it. But if we're really thinking about who's going to be scoring points, who's going to be getting the yardages, who's going to be getting the first downs, this is very interesting. Damn. But I thought the Vikings defense overall was just a little bit better. Let me just check the general like, what's the, here we go. Crap. Damn it. Come on now. Okay. I'm not gonna get. I already got into it pretty analytically. All right. Let's just say I get why the Vikings are underdogs, or let's just say I get why the Lions are favorites. But I feel like it's a lot more even. Vikings are underdogs, but they're only plus 115, so that's not like a huge underdog, right? Yeah, we'll just see how it plays. But I'm not even supposed to be talking about next week's matchups yet. I should be just talking about last week's headlines. So, okay, I'm going to just move on to the next subject real fast. Like, quick transition. Joey is 3-0 against Patrick Mahomes. First quarterback matchup. First quarterback against Patty Mahomes to win 3 straight games, or like 3 straight matchups. And the second quarterback to have 3 general wins over Patty Mahomes' Chiefs. And you know who was the first one? First and only other person? Tom Brady. So that just, puts into a little bit of a perspective of how impressive Joey Burrow is. And the Bengals just have that. Ooh, it's one of those. It really is one of those matchups that I am sure that Joe Burrow kicks it into another level. His receivers, his running backs kicks it into another level. To really just get that. I mean, this is the Bengals are just, I don't know, they're pretty impressive now, but they've had their difficulties, especially start of the season. And what were the times? Yeah, so first time was week 17 last season when Joe Burrow beat the Chiefs and beat Patrick Mahomes. And the second time was the AFC Championship, and that's when Joey Burrow made a crazy good performance, came back from, what was it, like a 14-point deficit, made the comeback to beat the Super Bowl winning Chiefs. And then now 4th of December 2022, he does it again. I don't know if it was 4th. I might be a little fit of that. But he does it again. And let's just say Joe Burrow owns Patrick Mahomes. I don't think anything can make Patrick Mahomes be able to beat Joe Burrow. Like, Joe Burrow is that guy. And first of all, I mean, this was the upset. Like, everybody was expecting the Chiefs to win this game. Coming into this matchup, Kansas City was 9-2, and Bengals were 7-4. So, there is a pretty big difference, I think, with 7-4 and 9-2. But yeah, just you can't contain him. You can't contain him. Jamar Chase put on a show, and that's just all I gotta say. But that stat comparison compared to the GOAT himself is Is all you really need to know. Is all you really need to know. And yeah, and like Patrick Mahomes is 3-0 against. No. Joe Burrow is 3-0 against Patrick Mahomes, but Patrick Mahomes versus Tom Brady, they're 3-3. Like Tom Brady has won against Patrick Mahomes 3 times, and Patrick Mahomes has won 3 times against Tom Brady. So they're even. And Tom Brady didn't get those in a row either. Like he eventually got 3 on Patrick Mahomes. But the fact that Joe Burrow has won 3 straight, that says something. That says something. Okay? And, you know, speaking of the GOAT, smooth transition, he is still doing GOAT fucking things. Okay? I'll admit it. I'll admit it right here, right now. I was wrong. Okay? When he got, after they won like 3 in a row, lost 3 in a row or something like that. And then the freaking rumors, or there was already some speculation around if his marriage is over or not. I remember I said, yo, it might be chalked for the Buccaneers and for Tom Brady. But I was wrong. As a man, I was wrong. I'm sorry. I am sorry. I was wrong. I doubted you when I shouldn't have, because you're the GOAT. You're the GOAT. People like, and then people are like saying like, oh my God, he really chose football over like the woman in the family. It's like, excuse me, did you think he was ever married to Giselle? Like, this man was never married to Giselle. He was married to the game. You know, I'm married to the game. I'm telling you right now, Tom Brady was married to the game before he was ever married to no bitch. Okay? Down 16-3 versus the Saints. 5 minutes left of the 4th quarter. Never a doubt. Never a single doubt. Freaking gets motherfucker, you know what I'm saying? Just, dude. This guy is modern day Jesus. Okay? Because you like, okay, and then there's this argument that, you know, it's okay, but like, he still plays shit for most of the game. Yeah, but when it counts, he doesn't play shit. I think that's the GOAT. That's when, no. Like, real talk, though, that's when someone from being elite goes to GOAT. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like when you have to win, or when it matters to win, then you win at all costs. He balls at whatever the cost. Okay? Whatever the cost. Family, wife, kids. What's the cost of balling? That's the cost. Does it matter? Does it phase the GOAT? No, it doesn't. No, the fuck it doesn't. This guy pulls the comeback once again. 4th quarter, I'm so money. And beats the Saints 16-17. God damn. He's the GOAT. He's the GOAT. I know this might be his last dance, but mate, you're married to the game. Don't leave. I want to witness GOAT shit for as long as possible. I'm selfish like that, man. I'm selfish, and I'm so glad I got to see him win his. If he is ending it after this season, then I got to see him win his last ring. Like, god damn, that is so cool, man. That is so cool. So, shout out Tom Brady, man. He's an inspiration, man. Oh my god. All right, listen. Matchups to watch going into Week 14 of the NFL. This first one, I'm gonna just put it out there, because his dance moves speaks for himself, and there's a lot of doubters that I think have to be proven wrong real quick, and this is not good for my fantasy result, but whatever. I'm gonna say it. Baker Mayfield is gonna ball the fuck out now that he's in LA. Get some of that warm tropical, warm sunshine comes in. He probably got a cup, he probably got linked up right off the rip with some LA, California Instagram thotties. Took him out to a nice dinner, and there was some funny business after that. And now he's about to do some business on the field, you know what I'm saying? He's about to dish out that business. So Baker Mayfield upset with a new team coming in 1 week, trying to get familiar to the playbook. Raiders, even though they're freaking kind of balling now, like I said last week, with the offensive trio, Josh Jacobs, Devontae Adams, and Derek Carr, they kind of got a groove on. But no, you have not seen a motherfucking California Baker Mayfield before. All right? So Baker Mayfield and the Rams pull off the upset against the Raiders going into Week 14. Next up. Woo! Okay. I'm a little bit too fucking fired up. I'm fired up. There's a lot to look forward to, and this cup of Joe is just tremendous. It's just tremendous. It's all, dude, when it touches like the bottom of my stomach, it almost tingles my balls a little bit. Next one. Boom, bam, bing. AFC East matchup. Bills minus 4,355 versus the Jets, who are plus 350 underdogs. I don't personally think it should be. I don't think the Jets should be that big of an underdog. Personally, I would be more of the close, like 150 to close to 200 range, honestly, because what we have to remember is we're not playing Zach Wilson Jets no more. We're playing Mike White Jets right now, okay? Mike White was making some goddamn elite throws last week. Okay, the Jets lost. Okay, the Jets kind of got slightly whooped by the Vikings, just a little bit. They lost by 5 points. They lost 22-27. Okay, whatever. It wasn't the biggest blowout, whatever. But during that game, Mike White was doing some pretty fucking magical shit, if you ask me. Okay? And I think this is going to be a very competitive matchup. I don't think the odds are necessarily suggesting that this is a competitive matchup. They're saying that the Bills are just going to guaranteed get beat up the fucking Jets like no problem. But I'm saying the Jets got it. The Jets have still a good amount to work with. We got Mike White, just that extra week of practice with Zach Wilson. They can make improvements. And what we see here is also Bills. Who's the Bills' number one offensive weapon? Well, it's Stephon Diggs. Okay. Stephon Diggs playing out of his mind this season. And like I said before, Stephon Diggs is a pretty darn perfect match with Josh Allen. Okay? So if we're not talking about what quarterback and wide receiver can get the most business done, then we could talk about wide receiver versus cornerback. Because for this Bills versus Jets matchup, it could just boil down to quite similarly like the kind of prediction I made for last week with the Jets and the Vikings game is which is also just quickly, I think the only reason why the Vikings won was because for some reason the defensive coach of the Jets didn't put Sauce Gardner like one-on-one with Justin Jefferson the whole game, right? Like I feel like the game would have definitely played out a lot more different. Like I don't know if the results would have been completely different, but I think it would have played out different. So I'm saying if the defensive coach is a bit smarter and the head coach also realizes that it would be smart, then you put Sauce Gardner right there with his hand barely grazing Stephon Diggs' ass, okay? And let's just watch another great wide receiver versus cornerback matchup. Because I think that's really, that's as 1v1, I think, as football can get. Or maybe, maybe defensive line and offensive line. Maybe, because they're literally going quite often 1v1, just like again and again and again and again, every play, every down, you know? So, but let's just see what Sauce Gardner can get up to, what Stephon Diggs can get up to, what Josh Allen can get up to, what Mike White can get up to. But I'm excited for this game, and I hope there's going to be some great highlights out of it, because I imagine that there will be. Okay? Next up. Another AFC matchup. This time in the AFC South, we have the Jaguars versus the Titans. Jacksonville Jaguars, who are plus 170 on the betting odds, versus Tennessee Titans that are minus 200 on the betting odds. I have to say this, and I think a lot of people are going to be betting this, but Jaguars should be able to take this pretty darn easy. Like, I'm pretty sure it's a lock. This is an upset. This would be considered an upset if Jaguars beat the Tennessee Titans. But I think a lot of people would agree with me when I say that Jaguars should be able to win this pretty, or the fact that they could win this is not the most outrageous comment I've ever made. Because Jaguars, first of all, they this season, they've, even though they're on a losing record right now, I don't think they're necessarily, they've always kind of bounced back. I think they've only taken 2 L's in a row this season. I could be wrong. I don't have a website up to fact check me on that one. But we all know what the Jaguars offense is capable of. And from my knowledge, I checked the same website again, ranking the defenses. I think, hold up, where the hell was I? Oh God, I clicked the bad button. Yeah, Jaguars are 12th out of 32 ranked for rushing yards allowed by the defense. And who is Who is the main offensive weapon of the Tennessee Titans? Well, that is Derrick Henry. So I think the Jaguars genuinely have a very good chance of doing a little bit more than something. And I think Jaguars and Trevor Lawrence could ball out another time. Why am I yawning when I'm freaking drinking coffee? Sorry, guys. It's been a long week at work. Okay, but anyways, truly, I think this is a pretty lock for me. I don't think I want to talk more because I don't really got nothing else to say about the Tennessee Titans. For example, like, yeah, Derrick Henry is like okay, I guess, but like, you know, he was much better before, and so it's just kind of like, and Tannehill, people thought Tannehill was like the second coming of Jesus, but like, what has he done this season? Really, what has he done this season? So Jaguars should be able to win that matchup next week against the Tennessee Titans. And lastly, gotta talk real quick about an NFC matchup. We have the third versus the fourth of the playoff picture. The playoff picture is here of seven. There's 7 available playoff spots, playoff berths available. I always thought it was so weird that berth somehow that word is in sports, but whatever. But we're talking about the freaking Tampa Bay Buccaneers GOAT versus the 49ers, San Francisco 49ers. And as of right now, I think so one of the news that broke out last week was Jimmy Garoppolo has been injured, right? And he's out at least, I forgot how long he is out for, but he's out now at least for the upcoming week. So I think before that happened, the Buccaneers were even bigger underdogs. The Buccaneers are still underdogs, but not as big. They're plus 155 right now. 49ers are minus 180. But the thing is, no matter what kind of 49ers offense is playing that night, everybody knows what kind of 49ers defense is going to be playing that night. And 49ers defense is the number 1 defense in the league right now. They are pretty damn scary. I mean, last week they were able to freaking take care of the Dolphins, and Dolphins are offensively like pretty strong. So the fact that they were able to beat them pretty bad last week like that just comes to show how good the 49ers defense is. And I certainly think it should be competitive. I think it's a lot of running game for both teams. But I seriously think that the GOAT's going to do GOAT shit. The GOAT himself is going to overcome that number 1 defense in the league, and he's going to defeat him. And it's literally not going to be because the 49ers offense played better and the Buccaneers defense couldn't do nothing about it. It is literally going to be Tom Brady is going to ball out on the freaking 49ers defense because he's the GOAT. You can't fucking stop him, okay? It ain't that easy to stop him. And the way he looks right now, oh my God, no defense in the league can stop him, okay? No one can stop him. He's unstoppable. No one talk to me, okay? Please. I don't want to hear a word. We're going to get a competitive game, hopefully. If anything, we might just get like a freaking, like a 9-12 game. You know what I'm saying? Like 49ers, 9 points. Buccaneers, 12 points. Something like that, because both defenses are pretty legit. But at the end of the day, Tom Brady's going to get that win over the 49ers. Okay, so we're calling out that upset. This might be a take that might kick my ass really, really hard. So let's just see how it goes. And excited. We're week 14 now, and we got 18 weeks of the regular season total. So after this week, we got 4 more. I don't know. Sorry, I haven't done math in like 2 years. And so, yeah, we're just going to see. I'm going to be looking closely, watching closely. Probably not gonna find the motivation to watch Raiders versus Rams tonight, but I'll wake up to Baker Mayfield dancing and celebrating, hopefully. And yeah, that's this week and next week's NFL. Next up, no F1. I'm not even gonna talk about it. I'll post on my social media if I do find a time to do the Silverstone stream. I've at least made a thumbnail for it already, but I just gotta find a time. And to be honest, just because Christmas is around the corner, I am a pretty darn busy man. But let's go into the next sports, which is mixed martial arts, which is UFC, because UFC is the pinnacle of mixed martial arts. And we have UFC 282 coming up this weekend, Saturday night, Sunday morning for me. And it's the last numbered event of the year. I don't know if this is the last pay-per-view. It might be. I don't know. They might have it's the darkness, guys. It's a fucking darkness. Sunsets at like 3:30, guys. Sorry for the yawning. But let me get into this. Last numbered events of the year, Las Vegas 2, which, as much as the Las Vegas venues suck for me because that means the main card starts at 5 a.m., we are super lit because we got a good freaking night ahead, like fight night ahead. It's been a while since I have like 3 bullet points for the prelims, right? And I have to say this before I go through the whole thing. I don't keep up to this, and I haven't seen a statistic of this, but I swear this is like the first. Dude, my stomach, everything is, whew. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. But anyways, I think this is the first UFC numbered event in a long time that doesn't have a single female fight. Like, dude, they just said, like, nah, all dudes here. You know what I'm saying? All guys. A bit of a sausage party, boys. But it is literally not a single one. Like, not even in the early prelims. Like, it's just dudes versus dudes. All right. So, I mean, I ain't got nothing to say about it, but I was just thrown off because, I personally, I really like it when I tune into a UFC fight night. And I don't think there's necessarily fighting styles. I guess it's a little bit different. Like, I mean, yeah, of course, if there's like a heavyweight bout for the men's division, right? There's no heavyweights for the women's, right? So, but it's just the fact that, I don't know. I really like it when chicks beat the hell out of each other, right? Because equality. We're all about that, If dudes get to beat the shit out of each other, why the hell shouldn't girls be able to beat the shit out of each other, right? But just a little bit strange that there was no female fights. I mean, yeah, all right. Like, I don't think it is that big of a deal. I don't think it is the first time it's happened, but it just threw me off a little bit. I thought I would mention it real quick. But anyways, let's just get into it. Prelims. First fucking fight to kick off the prelims. This man was just on Joe Rogan a week ago, 2 weeks ago, something like that. Joaquin Buckley coming in as a minus 150. Should I do these all in my best Bruce Buffer impression? Joaquin Buckley coming in as a minus 155 favorite versus Chris Curtis, number 14 ranked in the middleweight division, who comes in as a plus 135 underdog. Yeah, very interesting. Joaquin Buckley, he has a lot of hype around him. He has one of the most spectacular knockouts in the whole UFC history back during COVID times when he did spinning back heel kick that knocked the guy cold while his other foot was caught. So he just spun around in the air. You know, I don't know how he generated that power. I don't know how he kept that balance, but he knocked the dude out cold. And pretty much since then, he's been under the limelight. It's not like he's Paddy the Baddy where he's undefeated, because he's taken, I think, 2 L's right now in the UFC. But he's going against finally a ranked fighter. I don't know if this is the first ranked fighter he's fought against, but I'd imagine, because I don't even think Kevin Holland was ranked when he fought Kevin Holland. I think his debut was versus Kevin Holland too. Yeah, it was. Oh, Kevin Holland might have been ranked, so I might be wrong. But anyways, yeah, both fighters are coming off of a loss, and I think this is going to be a very, very interesting kind of matchup because both are strikers. It's going to be striker versus striker, but Joaquin Buckley has, I think, a little bit more Muay Thai, a little bit more like, you know, just elite kickboxing, and Chris Curtis might be a little bit just boxing, not as much with the kicking and all that. And I feel like, you know, I don't think much grappling is going to happen. I think Joaquin Buckley is going to come in trying to get the finish real quick. You know, I think at this point he's very conditioned and willing to empty out his tank without being scared that he's going to have no tank left. So, yeah, I think Joaquin Buckley, he's the favorite to win, and I think he should be. I think he should win this fight, and either way, just really interested to see because Joaquin Buckley's not like that, you know, he's not crazy big levels of hype yet, so I'm not gonna go ahead and say that like I'm gonna be bummed out if he loses, but either way, it's kind of one of those where it's just like, okay, this is the second time he's coming off of okay, well, he's won every time he's come off a loss, so that just says something. And yeah, either way, it's going to be exciting matchup. Next up, Raul Rosas Jr. versus Jay Perrin. Raul Rosas Jr. has made plenty of UFC mixed martial arts headlines because he is officially the youngest UFC fighter ever to enter the octagon. And this kid was born 2004. And I'm not even kidding. I can literally call him a kid because I'm 3 years older than this kid. But he can beat me up in like 2 seconds, right? Which is a scary thought. And it's almost a scarier thought that he's signed to UFC and he's this young. Because if he can just pretty much never take 2 losses in a row, and then every time he wins, he gets a freaking performance of the night, fight of the night, something like that, then he's going to be around for a long, long time. And he's this is going to be his UFC debut. He fought in the Dana White Contender Series, and that's where the headlines were made, because after that Contender Series performance, he got offered a contract from Uncle Dana, right? And this is going to be his first official UFC debut, and pretty freaking impressive if you ask me, because I think he had that Dana White Contender Series performance just like a month or 2 ago. Holy shit, dude, this guy is hot fucking shit. They just switch. Yo. I was writing these bullet points down yesterday, and Raul Rosas Jr. versus Jay Perrin was, I think, the second or the third fight in the prelims. But now they are bumped up to the last fight of the prelims, the last fight before the main card. Jesus. And I haven't even gone to the original matchup that was going to be the last one before the main card that I wanted to mention. It's the next bullet point, but whoa. Okay, dude. Yeah, the guy he's fighting, Jay Perrin, he has 2 fights in the UFC, and both of them were losses. Yeah, this is a bantamweight division fight. Perrin is a grappler. I think he's gotten most of his finishes via submission. So, but I actually ended up watching the whole Dana White Contender Series performance that this kid put on, and his grappling was pretty darn elite, if you ask me. They were at least half the time they were on the ground and doing some jiu-jitsu. And yeah, Raul Rosas, he knew how to defend and he knew how to attack on the ground. And dude, this guy was trying some freaking, I forgot the name of the freaking choke or submission, but he was trying some like out of the box shit. So if this if he's 0-4, how old is he? He's 18. He was 7. I think he's 18 now, but I think he was 17 when he fought in the Dana White Contender Series. So if this 18-year-old actually gets a finish in his UFC debut, like, there's gonna be a crazy amount of hype built around him. And I think off the rip, he's just going to have a crazy amount of fans. And that's kind of crazy that he is the last fight before the main card, because that comes to show you also, the UFC wanting to push this kid in the limelight quite a lot, which I like. This is great. I really like this. So, and listen, if that's the whole concept of the UFC too, because the whole starting concept of the UFC was what style of martial art is the best one, right? So what you had these like big brawler boxing jack dudes who'd go against the jiu-jitsu dudes. And back then, it was barely even called mixed martial arts. It was just one martial artist versus another martial artist. So then it was kind of like apparent that jiu-jitsu guys would fucking dominate anyone, because, you can you can't, if you don't know any jiu-jitsu, you don't know how to defend yourself, then you're gonna, as soon as you get on the ground, you're chalked, right? So that's been the whole origin idea, and what we have here is kind of like another perspective and spin on it, where it's just like, can this freaking young gun 18-year-old prospects beat up these dudes that are in their 20s or in their even 30s? Like, I wonder how old this Jay Perrin is, but I wouldn't even be surprised if they freaking put this kid against like a 30-year-old. Yeah, like this Jay Perrin's 29, dude. It's an 18-year-old versus a 29-year-old dude. Come on, dude. This is crazy. And I really think that Raul Rosas Jr. should be able to take this one. So I'm gonna be watching this fight nice and close as well, man. All right. Next up, and this is now currently the second last fight of the prelims, but it was originally the last fight of the prelims, the last fight before going into the main card. But we have a heavyweight bout versus Jairzinho Rozenstruik, who's ranked number 9 and coming in at -170 favorite, versus Chris Daukaus, who is number 11 ranked in the heavyweight division, coming in at +145 underdog. And this is another interesting one, and this is one that I'm definitely going to be keeping a close eye on and not going to miss a single second of this fight, because first of all, heavyweight fights rarely ever disappoint in the UFC. And what we have here is a freaking matchup between two dudes that just kind of want to take your head off. And both big dudes, and both have done a considerable amount of damage. Both of them have 11 wins by knockout in their professional career. And I think both of them have a lot to lose. Both fighters are currently on a 2-loss streak. So both really need a win, because I think when it comes to UFC contracts and everything like that, 3 losses in a row is one of those. Is like, if you get into a situation where you have 3 L's in a row, then it's getting a little iffy, you know? Of course, I think both, the fact that they're both ranked heavyweights, they're not nobodies. They're definitely not nobodies. I at least know how freaking brutal Rozenstruik can be. When he defeated Alistair Overeem and literally just ripped his freaking cheek and lip open with a punch. Like, that's some raw shit. And Chris Daukaus also, I think he's a pretty damn scary dude to be matched up against. So, yeah, I'm expecting a lot of violence. And it's going to be a nice one. Yeah, I can see, dude, if I yawn one more fucking time I enter the podcast, okay, I'm sorry. Fuck. I've been sleeping okay, too, man. What the fuck is going on? Listen here, you cocksucker. Yeah, fuck was I saying, dude? That yawn actually took me out. Yeah, no, I could see why they wanted to put a little bit to switch out I can see why they wanted to switch up the order maybe a little bit. I think it might have to do with, we have Joaquin Buckley, which is a middleweight fight, and the fight after that is another middleweight fight, and then we have now the heavyweight fight. So we'll get like two fights that could go the distance, and then one fight that probably won't go the distance, which is this heavyweight bout with Rosenstrike and Dawkins. And then we might get a bantamweight bout, which might finish actually kind of fast. I personally think Raul Rosas is probably going to get the finish within the 3 rounds. And then we're going to go into the main card. And, yeah, I think just when it came to the weight divisions, it made a little bit more sense for the continuity. But that was only the fucking prelims. Oh my goodness, I don't know how long of a break I took from that camera, but it's okay. My face doesn't have to be on all the time. I'm giving you guys a little bit of mercy on that one. But anyways, that was only the prelims. Now going into the main card, the first fight of the main card. Bryce Mitchell, Thug Nasty, number 9th in the featherweight division, coming in as a plus 115 underdog versus Ilya Topuria, who is ranked number 14 and is a minus 135 favorite. Bryce Mitchell, he definitely has a pretty darn big fan base. He markets himself really well. He's very out of the box kind of character. He is a redneck. That's the image he has, and that's who he truly is, I think. And he's a redneck that loves his cows and his freaking his farm and everything like that, and his tractors, and he just so happens to be a freaking killer at the same time. Bryce Mitchell, he's on a 6-win streak right now, and he's won all of his UFC fights, which is just really impressive. Especially, you come into the UFC, if you're winning 6 off the row, like I even think that if you come into the UFC and you win 3 in a row, like that's already pretty darn impressive in my books, right? Because after that, you've already established that you're above a certain level of competition. And even if you do take a loss, that at least puts you somewhere in the pack a lot more clearer than if you just, win one and then lose one, or like you win your first one and then you lose your second one. And it's just like, okay, whatever. But yeah, he's won all of his UFC fights. And yeah, let's just, we could check this out real quick. How many of them have been finishes? What is his... he has 8 first-round finishes. He is a pure grappler. He does not strike for shit. He is one of those guys where if he takes you down, then you're not getting back up. He has a significant amount of strength for the featherweight division, a lot of impressive balance, right, which you see in high-level grapplers. And just to give you a little bit more perspective, the opponent he's going against and why Bryce Mitchell, even though he is a killer, won every single UFC fight he's been in, and he's a certified savage, why he is the underdog coming into this fight is because Ilya Topuria from Spain, he is also a pretty darn impressive guy. He's also won all of his UFC fights, except it's just been 2 less. 2 less fights than Bryce Mitchell. So they kind of very, very similar fighters, and Topuria has the edge that, first of all, he's 12-0 in his professional record. He's never lost as a professional mixed martial artist. Okay, and both of them are submission artists, in my opinion. Topuria has seven wins by submission, right, which is pretty darn impressive. Win by method. This is where it differs, because 58% of his wins have been by submission. However, there's a 33% where he's won by KO or TKO, and that just might be the edge that Topuria needs to be able to beat Bryce Mitchell, right? I really see, but that's where my take comes in, where if Bryce Mitchell gets you down, you're not getting back up. So if Bryce Mitchell gets the takedown and succeeds, then Ilia Topuria is really gonna have to dig deep to try to beat Bryce Mitchell. But really, if they do even stand on their feet a little bit, and Topuria has elite takedown defense, then Topuria might freaking start swinging and kicking, and Bryce Mitchell might not be able to hang. So I don't really know if I want to say a take for this. I mean, I personally, I have no hate against Bryce Mitchell. I know he's the fan favorite for this fight, but I gotta go with Ilia Topuria, because this guy has looked impressive before, and I think there is a very good possibility that he's gonna be a problem in the featherweight division later on in the future. So we'll just have to see. But either way, I'm tuning in close for that one, because this is just another pitch perfect matchup in my opinion. Next up, this one I might go through a little bit faster, because we're running low on time a little bit here. But Darren Till, number 9 ranked in the middleweight division, versus Dricus du Plessis, who's ranked number 13. Darren Till coming at plus 160 underdog, and du Plessis is the minus 190 favorite. And yeah, a middleweight bout between the gentlemen. Darren Till is a striker. We all know that. He has pretty darn elite striking. And I think the edge du Plessis has is that du Plessis is a much more experienced grappler. And you never want to take this into account, but when it's the lighter divisions, I don't know. I feel like when it is the lighter divisions, then I feel like, I mean, middleweight's not. Honestly, middleweight's the heavier side of the divisions. But I feel like, I don't know, at least with Darren Till, the age thing might come into play a little bit. Like, I feel like du Plessis has a little bit more of that young, explosive energy that Darren Till, that might cause like a kind of a threat to Darren Till's game. And, Darren Till is 1-4 in his last 5 fights. So, this, I feel like, is going to be a bit of a fight where Darren Till kind of really needs to win this one if he wants to stay ranked and relevant, and not relevant, but just to prove a bunch of doubters wrong. And du Plessis too, like, just to show off if how dangerous he is, because I've seen I think I saw him fight in Fight Night earlier this year, and he looked pretty darn dangerous, dude. He definitely did, and he has a very good mixture of KO wins, but also submission wins. So Darren Till better not get on the floor, or better have a good grappling defensive game, because otherwise it might be a very dangerous matchup going into that night. Next up, we have Paddy the Batty Pimblett versus Jared Gordon. Everybody knows who Paddy the Batty is. He's coming in as minus 250 favorite compared to Jared Gordon, who's a plus 210 underdog. This is a lightweight division fight, and everybody knows lightweight division is the money-making division in the UFC. And okay, I was just like reading my notes. The grammar was completely off. Gordon has a tank. He definitely does. I don't think Gordon's like trash or anything like that. This is definitely, Jared Gordon is definitely, I think, better than the other guys Paddy has fought so far. And he has, the reason why I say he has a tank is because he has gone to decision and won those decisions. He's won 10 fights by decision. Most of his fights were won by decision. And that really just proves that like he genuinely has a tank. I'm not doubting Paddy the Batty's tank, but I'm saying the way Paddy the Batty fights, which is he likes to empty the tank and he likes to go aggressive, he likes to get the finish, then Gordon could pose a threat if it goes to round 3, right? Except, of course, Paddy the Batty, he is dangerous. He really, there's this extra bit of focus that he taps into, which I am really impressed with, because like you could just see it, like the way it's a lot like when Israel Adesanya is in the cage. Like you can see the amount of focus in their face, and that's what I see when Paddy the Batty fights. And he just goes into this other mode that's really clearly different to the vlog or podcast or social media Batty that he is. So I think Paddy the Batty is going for the quick win. I think just because Gordon is slightly more experienced, he's gone against some killers. Like Gordon fought against Charles Oliveira back, not in the day, but like, a while ago. So just the fact that he's faced competition like that, just I think instead of a round 1 finish, I am predicting Paddy Pimblett, Paddy the Batty, submission win in round 2. That's my call. And lastly, okay, so the Paddy the Batty fight is actually co-main event. The main event of the evening, light heavyweight championship fight between Jan Blachowicz, who is number 2 ranked and coming in as a plus 225 underdog, versus Magomed Ankalaev, who's ranked number 3 and is minus 265, minus 165 favorite. This was supposed to be Yuri Prochazka versus Glover Teixeira 2. Unfortunately, Yuri Prochazka injured himself a couple of weeks ago, few weeks ago and was a gracious champion and gave the belt up for other fighters to have a chance of getting the belt or fighting for the belt. And he says he'll come back and fight for the belt once he's healthy. So what we have is Jan Blachowicz, the former light heavyweight champ, versus Magomed Ankalaev, who is the number one prospect in light heavyweight division. It's a very scary matchup. Both are killers, though, which I'm looking forward to. Jan, in my opinion, has a more diverse skill set, and he has that edge of being a former champ before. Jan has submission wins and knockout or TKO wins, where Magomed Ankalaev has more just beat the crap out of other dudes with his fists and legs. So if Jan decides to try to submit Ankalaev, that could be like one of those things that like catches Ankalaev off guard. Unfortunately, also on the flip side, Ankalaev is on a 9-fight win streak, the second longest win streak in the light heavyweight division of all time. Number one was John Jones with 13-fight win streak. And I think this has a great potential to be a 5-round war where both men give it their absolute all. And yes, of course, I could just predict Magomed Ankalaev, another Dagestani killer, is just going to come in, get the finish within 2 rounds. But I really think Jan Blachowicz is underrated in the light heavyweight division. I think he can hang with the top guys, top dogs very well. And so if anything, Jan Blachowicz gets a surprise submission, maybe like round 4, end of round 4, round 5 or something, very similar to Prohaska versus Teixeira, where just out of nowhere you just get the right position and you crank a little and that's all you need. But either way, that's my take. I really would want Jan to win because I think it would be the perfect storyline to regain the throne. But then again, Magomed Ankalaev, he's done everything in his power to earn this title shot, and he is a very dangerous, scary killer out of Dagestan at the end of the day. And I never want to 100% count out a Dagestani because those motherfuckers are certified born natural killers. Okay, so that's all I have for this week's episode. I know, where the hell is NBA? Where's World Cup talk? Where's this and that? I don't care because we have two awesome sports that we're gonna get just all the nice juices out. We're gonna squeeze all of it out, get every last bit of awesomeness out, and I'm gonna enjoy it. I will talk about the World Cup next week probably because then the finals are going to be during the weekend. But right now, if I just had to say anything, Netherlands is going to win the whole thing because I rock with my Orange Nation. You know what I'm saying? Those guys are the fucking homies since the beginning, right? But if I said realistically, I don't know. I'd say Brazil. And I think Brazil deserved to win. It would be a great storyline. They have some amazing fans. Brazilians have amazing energy, amazing support. And yeah, let's just everybody enjoy your weekends. I'm certainly enjoying mine. I'm off to a summer cottage with the classmates and everything like that. Gonna be doing a little bit of boozing, a little bit of partying, but I'm going to make sure that I'm going to have these live sports broadcasts on the whole time and not miss a goddamn thing. Anyways, I hope you guys liked my energy this episode. Let me know if it was a little too much, a little bit too out there. But either way, sorry guys for the yawns. But then again, I don't want to apologize for anything because this is top fucking entertainment. You're never going to get better sports entertainment than this. So I'll see you guys next week, and we're ballin'.